My name is Alex Adam, and I never thought life would end at 35. As a paramedic in Denver, I had spent years rushing into emergencies, helping people on what was often the worst day of their lives. Life and death were things I faced daily, and I believed I understood them well. I considered myself practical, grounded in science and facts. Near-death experiences to me were nothing more than tricks of a dying brain. But one day, everything I believed was turned upside down. It began on a cool Wednesday morning in Denver. The city was bustling as usual, cars honking, people rushing, life carrying on. My shift had been strangely quiet so far, almost peaceful. By 10:30 a.m., I was in a patient room checking on a teenager who had survived a terrible car accident. The room felt calm, with sunlight streaming through the blinds, painting warm patterns on the walls. The steady beep of the heart monitor blended with the soft hum of the hospital. The boy gave me a small smile, and for a moment, it felt like a rare break from the chaos that usually defined my days. But I had no idea that, in just a few minutes, my own life would change in a way I could never have imagined. If you believe in God and near-death experiences, subscribe to Life at NDE today. Discover inspiring messages from God through powerful near-death stories that bring hope and understanding. Hit subscribe now and join us in spreading the light of faith. Suddenly, it hit me, a crushing, unbearable pain in my chest. It felt as if an invisible hand were squeezing my heart, cutting off all air and thought. The pain surged through my body, sharper and more overwhelming than anything I had ever felt. Instinctively, I reached out to steady myself against the counter, but my hand never made contact. The last thing I saw was the look of panic on my patient's face as he yelled for help. Then, everything went dark. I didn't know it at the time, but I had suffered a massive cardiac arrest caused by an undiagnosed congenital heart defect. The doctors later told me I was clinically dead for nearly 5 minutes. What I experienced during those minutes defied all explanation. The first thing I became aware of after the darkness was a strange, weightless sensation. I opened my eyes, or what felt like my eyes, and found myself floating above the scene. I looked down and saw my own body sprawled motionless on the floor. The room was chaos. Dr. Patel, my supervisor, was performing chest compressions with a focus I had only seen in the most critical emergencies. Lucas, my closest friend on the team, was preparing the defibrillator, his hands steady but his face pale. I tried to call out, to tell them I was okay, but no sound came. I realized I wasn't breathing, yet I felt no discomfort or fear. Instead, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace, as if every burden I had ever carried had been lifted. It was surreal watching my lifeless body from above, but the calm I felt was absolute. I was no longer tethered to the anxieties and fears that had shadowed my life. Then, everything shifted. I felt a gentle pull, as though an unseen force was guiding me away from the scene. The room faded, and I was drawn into a tunnel of light. The movement was swift yet natural, like being carried by a current. The light ahead grew brighter, but it wasn't blinding. It was warm, inviting, and alive. It felt like home. When I emerged from the tunnel, I found myself in a place that defied description. The colors were unlike anything I had ever seen, vivid, dynamic, and otherworldly. The air seemed to vibrate with music, a symphony so profound it brought tears to my eyes, even though I realized I no longer had a physical form. I existed as pure awareness, free from the limitations of my body. Then, I saw him, Jesus. He stood before me, not as he is often depicted in religious art, but as a presence both majestic and deeply familiar. His light was brighter than the sun, yet it did not hurt to look at him. He radiated love so pure and powerful that I felt completely seen and utterly embraced. His eyes held the wisdom of eternity and the compassion of a dear friend. "Nathaniel," he said, though the words were not spoken aloud, they resonated within me like a thought made of light. "There is something you need to see." With a wave of his hand, the space around us transformed. What I saw revealed truths about life, death, and the journey of the soul that shattered everything I thought I knew. Jesus explained that this was third heaven, a transitional realm where souls come immediately after death. It was not limited by physical laws. Here, time and space intertwined in ways that my human mind struggled to understand. He guided me through different sections, each serving a unique purpose for the souls who resided there. The first area he showed me was gardens of peace. Souls were bathed in golden light, radiating tranquility. They appeared to be in a state of profound rest, meditating or reflecting in silence. The landscape was alive, shifting in response to each soul's thoughts and emotions. These are the souls who lived with love and service, Jesus explained. They are here to rest, to heal, and to prepare for the next phase of their journey. I noticed that some souls glowed more brightly than others. Jesus said, "The brightness reflects how much divine love they allowed to flow through them during their lives. Yet even here, they continue to grow, becoming brighter as they deepen their understanding of love." Next, we entered halls of learning. This place was alive with activity. Souls gathered in amphitheaters made of light, working with teachers who radiated extraordinary wisdom and compassion. Here, souls reviewed their lives, not as judgment, but as a profound learning experience. I watched as souls relived moments from their lives, not only from their own perspectives, but also from the perspectives of those they had affected. One soul, for example, saw how a single act of kindness had a ripple effect, touching countless lives. Another soul faced a moment of anger, feeling not only the pain they had caused, but also the reasons behind their actions. "This is not about punishment," Jesus said. "It's about growth and understanding. Every soul must see and feel the impact of their choices to truly evolve." One of the most profound moments in the halls of learning was witnessing how seemingly small actions could create monumental ripples. A single kind gesture or a careless word could echo far beyond the moment, shaping the lives of others in ways unimaginable. It was a humbling and awe-inspiring revelation. Then I saw him, Jesus. He stood before me, not as he is often depicted in religious art, but as a presence both majestic and deeply familiar. His very essence radiated light, brighter than the sun, yet astonishingly gentle and soothing to behold. This light didn't just illuminate, it felt alive, as if carrying the essence of love itself. As I looked at him, I was overwhelmed by a love so pure and powerful that it transcended any human emotion I had ever felt. It was as though every part of me, my thoughts, my past, my fears, my hopes, was fully seen and wholly embraced. His eyes held an infinite wisdom, the kind that seemed to span across all eternity, coupled with the compassion of a dear, trusted friend who had always been by my side. He called my name, Nathaniel. The word wasn't spoken aloud in the way we communicate on earth, yet it resonated within me as if it were a thought made of pure light. His voice carried a profound sense of calm and purpose, a tone that seemed to weave directly into my soul. "There is something you need to see," he said. With a gentle wave of his hand, the space around us began to shift and transform. What unfolded before me was nothing short of astonishing. The truths I was about to witness would reshape everything I thought I knew about life, death, and the journey of the soul. Jesus began to explain that we were in a realm known as the third heaven, a transitional space where souls arrive immediately after death. This realm was unlike anything on earth. It was not constrained by the physical laws of time and space. Instead, these concepts intertwined and overlapped in ways that my human mind struggled to grasp. Yet, in this realm, it all felt natural, as though I had always known this kind of existence deep down. Jesus guided me through different sections of this incredible place, each with a distinct purpose, each carefully designed to aid the souls who resided there. The first place Jesus showed me was the Gardens of Peace. It was an ethereal expanse of golden light, a landscape that seemed to breathe and shimmer with life. Souls rested here, their forms glowing softly, as if emanating their own inner light. Each soul radiated tranquility, appearing deeply at peace as they meditated or reflected in silence. The surroundings were alive in a way that I had never seen before. The trees, the grass, even the air itself seemed to respond to the thoughts and emotions of the souls present. The very environment was harmonious, shifting to meet the needs of those within it. These are the souls who lived lives filled with love and service, Jesus explained as he gestured toward them. They are here to rest, to heal, and to prepare for the next phase of their journey. As I looked more closely, I noticed that some souls glowed more brightly than others. Jesus explained further, the brightness reflects the extent to which they allowed divine love to flow through them during their time on earth. Yet even here, their journey is not complete. They continue to grow, becoming brighter and more radiant as they deepen their understanding of love. From there, Jesus led me to the halls of learning, a place that was vibrant with activity. It was unlike any school or learning center I had ever imagined. Souls gathered in structures that resembled amphitheaters, but these were not made of stone or brick. They were constructed from pure light. The teachers here were extraordinary beings, radiating wisdom and compassion so profound that their very presence felt like a gift. Here, souls reviewed their earthly lives, not as a form of judgment or punishment, but as an opportunity for deep learning and growth. I observed as souls revisited moments from their lives, experiencing them not only from their own perspective, but also from the perspectives of others they had affected. One soul, for instance, relived a moment of kindness, a seemingly small act, like giving a helping hand to a stranger. As the event unfolded, the soul saw how that one act rippled outward, touching countless lives in ways they could never have imagined. The stranger, inspired by this kindness, went on to rebuild their life, eventually becoming a source of strength and support for others. In another instance, a soul faced a moment of anger. They felt the immediate pain they had caused to someone else, but they also experienced the reasons behind their actions, the fear or hurt that had driven them. This is not about punishment, Jesus explained as we watched. This is about growth and understanding. Every soul must see and feel the impact of their choices to truly evolve. The profoundness of these reviews was overwhelming. I saw how seemingly insignificant actions carried monumental weight. A small gesture of love or a fleeting moment of cruelty could send ripples across the lives of many. The interconnectedness of all souls became glaringly evident. Each act of kindness created waves of light, uplifting and healing, while acts of harm created shadows that had to be transformed through understanding and love. As I stood there, absorbing all of this, I realized that the process wasn't easy for the souls undergoing it. Some moments were joyous to revisit, while others were deeply painful. Yet, even in moments of facing their mistakes, there was no condemnation. Instead, there was compassion, an infinite wellspring of patience and understanding from the luminous beings who guided them. These beings didn't judge, they supported, helping each soul comprehend the root of their actions and how they could grow beyond them. Jesus stood beside me through it all, his presence steady and comforting. Growth begins here, he said. It's not enough to recognize the effects of your actions. The real work is in transforming that understanding into love, into light, into something that can uplift not just yourself, but all of creation. I could feel the truth in his words, resonating deeply within me. This was not just about individual journeys, it was about the collective journey of all souls, intertwined in ways I could barely begin to comprehend. What I saw in the halls of learning was nothing short of extraordinary, a revelation of how every action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger fabric of existence. I saw a soul revisit a moment from his life when he had given money to a stranger in need. At the time, he had viewed it as a simple, almost insignificant gesture, something done on impulse without much thought. To him, it had been a minor act, one among many forgotten in the rush of everyday life. But as he watched the scene play out, he began to see its true significance. That seemingly small act had a profound and lasting impact on the stranger. For this person, the kindness was life-changing. It reignited their faith in humanity, giving them hope at a time when they felt abandoned and lost. With this renewed faith, the stranger sought help, overcame their struggles, and began to rebuild their life. What amazed me most was how this transformation extended far beyond the stranger's own life. As their circumstances improved, they became a source of encouragement and support for others, helping countless people who were also in need. Over time, the ripple effects of that single, simple act of kindness reached hundreds of lives, spreading positivity and love far beyond what the original giver could have ever imagined. In contrast, I witnessed another soul confronting the repercussions of a moment of cruelty. This person had spoken harsh words to someone during a moment of anger or frustration. At the time, the words may have seemed fleeting, even justified in their mind. But as the soul revisited this event, they experienced the consequences from a different perspective. They saw the immediate pain their words had inflicted, but more importantly, they saw how that pain echoed far into the recipient's life. The hurt caused by those words wasn't confined to the moment. It lingered, embedding itself into the person's self-esteem and relationships. The recipient carried the emotional wound forward, impacting how they viewed themselves and interacted with others. Despite the weight of these realizations, there was no condemnation for the soul reflecting on their actions. Instead, they were surrounded by luminous beings who radiated warmth, compassion, and patience. These beings guided the soul through a process of deep understanding, helping them to see not only the effects of their actions, but also the underlying reasons behind their behavior. They helped the soul uncover the pain, fear, or misunderstanding that had driven their hurtful actions, offering a path toward healing. This is where true growth begins, Jesus explained as he stood beside me. His presence was steady and reassuring, his voice resonating with infinite wisdom. It's not enough to simply recognize the effects of your actions. You must also learn to transform the pain into understanding and ultimately into love. From there, Jesus guided me to another extraordinary place, the healing chambers. This was not a physical space like anything on earth, but a state of existence designed for souls burdened by deep wounds. These were souls who had carried trauma, anger, addiction, or sorrow during their lives. Here, they were enveloped in a light so pure and warm that it seemed to dissolve their pain layer by layer. This light wasn't just illumination, it was a tangible force of love, capable of reaching the deepest corners of a soul's suffering. The beings of light who worked within this realm were remarkable in their patience and gentleness. They guided each soul through a process of profound transformation, helping them confront and release the pain they had carried. For some souls, the journey required them to face the harm they had caused to others, feeling the full impact of their actions. For others, the healing process began with addressing their own traumas and rediscovering the divine love they had shut out during their earthly lives. Each transformation was unique, tailored to the specific needs of the soul. No soul is ever beyond redemption, Jesus said, his voice filled with unwavering conviction. Even those who have lived in the deepest darkness have the capacity to be healed. Love is the most powerful force in existence. It can restore even the most broken spirits. I watched as souls underwent this extraordinary process of healing. It was not easy. The path required courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront the truth of their experiences. But as they embraced the process, I saw remarkable changes unfold. Burdens that had weighed on them for lifetimes began to lift. The light within them grew stronger, brighter, and more vibrant with each step they took toward healing. This process of transformation was not a quick fix or a simple solution. It demanded intense self-awareness and a willingness to let go of guilt, anger, and fear. Yet through it all, the beings of light never wavered in their compassion. They provided endless support, helping each soul move closer to forgiveness and love, not only for others, but also for themselves. I realized that this was the true power of love, a force so profound that it could reach into the depths of despair and bring forth light. The healing chambers were a testament to the boundless potential for growth, renewal, and redemption within every soul. Even those who had lived in pain or caused harm were not beyond hope. Each soul, no matter how lost or broken, was guided gently toward a state of understanding, peace, and love. Watching this unfold was a deeply humbling experience, and it filled me with awe at the infinite capacity of love to heal, transform, and restore. Then, Jesus revealed something so profound that it took my breath away. In another part of this extraordinary realm, I witnessed souls working together to assist those who were still living on earth. These souls were what we often refer to as guardian angels, though they were nothing like the mythical winged beings from folklore. Instead, they were radiant and serene, exuding purpose and love. They were souls who had chosen to remain in this transitional realm, dedicating themselves to guiding and protecting others. Their mission was clear: to offer support, strength, and love to those who needed it most. As I looked closer, my heart filled with emotion. Among these guardian souls, I saw my father. He appeared as I remembered him during the happiest years of his life, strong, vibrant, and full of energy. His presence radiated love, warmth, and a deep sense of peace. When he smiled at me, I was overwhelmed by an intense gratitude that I couldn't put into words. He seemed so alive, so full of light, and his very being radiated a love that felt infinite. My father shared moments with me that I had never known about before. He showed me times when he had silently guided my decisions, nudging me toward paths that would lead to growth and safety. He revealed how he had comforted my mother during her darkest moments, whispering strength into her heart when she felt like giving up. He even showed me instances when he had shielded me from harm during dangerous situations, moments I hadn't even realized were perilous at the time. Every prayer is heard, he told me, though his voice was not spoken aloud, but flowed directly into my mind. Every moment of need is known. We can't always prevent struggles because growth requires challenges, but we can always send love, strength, and guidance. As we moved deeper into the realm, Jesus led me to a place that was far less comforting, but just as significant. This space was cold, isolating, and dark, a stark contrast to the warmth and light I had experienced elsewhere. Here, I saw souls who had chosen to remain in darkness. These were not punished souls, but rather those who had not yet accepted love, healing, or forgiveness into their essence. Their isolation was self-imposed, a result of their own unwillingness to let go of pain, resentment, or fear. These souls have not yet embraced the love and healing that is always available to them, Jesus explained. His voice carried no judgment, only compassion. But watch. I observed as beings of light, pure, luminous presences, continuously reached out to these souls, offering love, comfort, and support. The beings were gentle and patient, their light unwavering no matter how many times it was ignored or rejected. The scene was deeply moving, showing the persistence of divine love. This is the nature of divine love, Jesus said softly. It never forces, never condemns, but it also never abandons. Every soul, no matter how lost, will eventually find its way back to the light. It is not a matter of if, but when. As we continued, Jesus revealed the most awe-inspiring vision of all. He showed me what he called the interconnected web of all existence. It was like a vast, radiant tapestry made of light, each thread woven together with infinite care. Every soul, every action, every thought was a part of this magnificent design. I could see how all souls were connected to one another, how every action created ripples that extended far beyond what the person could see. These ripples affected not only other individuals, but the entire collective fabric of existence. The greatest illusion, Jesus said, is the illusion of separation. All souls, all beings, all of creation are one. When you give love to another, you give love to yourself. When you harm another, you harm yourself. This is why forgiveness is so essential. It is not just for the one you forgive, it heals the entire fabric of existence. It restores the balance of the whole. I watched in awe as acts of love sent ripples of light through this interconnected web. These ripples didn't just uplift the people directly involved, they extended outward, touching countless lives, spreading light and healing across dimensions. A simple act of kindness could echo endlessly, bringing light into places where it was most needed. Conversely, acts of fear or hatred created waves of darkness that needed to be addressed and transformed. This, Jesus continued, is the work of all souls, to learn how to turn darkness into light, fear into love, and separation into unity. Every thought, every choice, every action matters. This is the eternal work, the journey of every soul. The enormity of what I saw left me speechless. I realized that everything we do, no matter how small or insignificant it seems, contributes to this vast, interconnected web of existence. Every loving thought, every act of forgiveness, every moment of compassion ripples outward, becoming part of a greater whole. At the same time, every act of harm or anger also has far-reaching effects, creating darkness that requires transformation. Yet, no matter how much darkness exists, the light never stops working to transform it. Divine love continues to reach out, unwavering and unrelenting, until every soul finds its way back into the fold of light and unity. In this profound moment, I understood the infinite power of love and its ability to heal, restore, and connect everything. The vision of this interconnected web was not just a revelation of how existence works. It was an invitation, a call to live with intention, love, and purpose, knowing that every action contributes to the whole. Before sending me back, Jesus revealed one final truth that shook me to the very depths of my soul. He showed me the infinite possibilities for humanity's future. As the vision unfolded, I saw two diverging paths, each leading to a vastly different outcome. One path was breathtakingly beautiful. In this future, humanity had embraced love, wisdom, and compassion as guiding principles. Every action was rooted in kindness, and every decision was made with the well-being of others and the planet in mind. People lived in harmony, not just with each other, but with all creation. The earth thrived, vibrant and alive, reflecting humanity's collective care. It was a world where peace wasn't just a distant hope, it was a reality woven into the very fabric of existence. The air was filled with the energy of unity, and humanity flourished in a way I could only describe as divine. On the other path, I saw devastation. This was a future marked by conflict, greed, and destruction. The choices humanity made in this reality led to suffering on an unimaginable scale. The planet bore the scars of exploitation, and the people, disconnected from each other and from love, lived in turmoil. Fear and hatred had created a cycle of pain that fed itself, dragging the world further into chaos. This vision was painful to witness, a stark reminder of what could happen if humanity turned away from the light and the truth of love. These futures are not predetermined, Jesus explained, his voice steady and filled with hope. The choices humanity makes now will shape the reality that unfolds. But remember, free will is absolute. The future is not set in stone. Every act of kindness, every moment of forgiveness, and every choice for peace contributes to the collective journey. These choices matter more than you can imagine. As he prepared to send me back, Jesus gave me a mission, one that felt both profound and humbling. "Tell them what you've seen," he said, his presence radiating a love so deep it was overwhelming. "Let them know that death is not the end, that love is the most powerful force in existence, and that no soul is ever truly lost. Every soul has a purpose, and every life has meaning." With those words, I felt an irresistible force pulling me back. The transition was swift yet gentle, like being carried on a current of light. The last thing I heard was his voice, resonating within me, clear and powerful. "Love is not just a feeling, it is a choice. And it is a choice you must make again and again, in every moment of your life." I awoke with a gasp, my body jolting as the defibrillator delivered its third shock. My colleagues surrounded me, their faces a mix of relief and astonishment. According to the medical records, I had been gone for 4 minutes and 52 seconds, yet in those minutes, I had experienced an eternity. What I saw, what I learned, had forever altered the way I viewed life, death, and the universe. Since that day, I have never been the same. I no longer fear death, because I now understand it is not an end, but a transformation, a passage into a reality far greater and more expansive than anything we can imagine. Death is a doorway, not a conclusion, and those who pass through it are not lost. They are more alive than ever, continuing to grow, learn, and even participate in the shaping of existence. This understanding has given me a renewed appreciation for life. I see every person as a soul on their unique journey, each deserving of love, compassion, and respect. My work as a paramedic, once centered on the physical, has taken on a deeply spiritual dimension. When I look at patients, I no longer see just their injuries or ailments. I see their radiant, beautiful souls. No matter their circumstances, every life is sacred, every soul is valuable, and every person is worthy of love. The most profound truth I learned is this: what we call death is not an ending, but a continuation of existence. The dead are not gone, they are transformed. They are growing, learning, and even influencing the future of the world in ways we may never fully understand. They are part of the same interconnected journey, a tapestry of souls working together across dimensions. I share my story not to convince anyone of a particular belief, but to offer hope. Love is the force that moves the universe. It is the energy that connects all things, transcending time and space. Every act of love ripples outward, touching lives and creating waves of light that spread across eternity. These ripples are not bound by physical limits. They reach places and people we may never see, uplifting and transforming the whole. Yet the same is true of fear, anger, and hatred. These create waves of darkness that must be healed and transformed. This is the eternal work of all souls, to turn darkness into light, fear into love, and separation into unity. It is a journey that requires courage, intention, and unwavering faith in the power of love. Our task, though simple in concept, is profound in its impact: to love deeply, forgive readily, and live fully. Every choice we make, no matter how small, shapes not only our own journey, but the journey of all creation. The future is not fixed. It is a living, breathing reality shaped by the collective choices of humanity. Every kind word, every act of compassion, and every moment of forgiveness contributes to a world of light, peace, and harmony. If this story resonates with you, I invite you to embrace its message. Share it with someone who needs hope, who longs to believe that love truly is the greatest force in existence. Let them know that no act of kindness is too small, no moment of forgiveness is wasted, and no soul is ever beyond redemption. Together, through our choices and our love, we can shape a future that reflects the best of what humanity can be, a future guided by wisdom, compassion, and unity. If you believe in God and near-death experiences, subscribe to the Life at NDE today. Discover inspiring messages from God through powerful near-death stories that bring hope and understanding. Hit subscribe now and join us in spreading the light of faith.